Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Na'Vi versus MudGolems in the upper bracket finals of the ESL One Germany 2020 online tournament. We've seen MudGolems been doing a pretty dominant showing lately, so we'll see if they're able to keep this ball rolling. Man, these picks are coming out well quick. So insta-pick from Na'Vi on the Lifestealer, and insta-pick as well from the Undying on MudGolems. The Faceless Void already been banned out, as you do tend to see. If it's not banned, it's picked. IO banned out as well, and then MudGolems banning out the Doom and Lena. Then Na'Vi, second pick in the Phoenix. That is their most picked hero so far of this tournament. 7 times. This will be the 8th time. They are currently 4-3 on it though, so it's not exactly like it's an absolute dominant pick that they like to grab, but it is something that they're comfortable picking at least, and they will stick with that. Meanwhile, MudGolems, they're just going to pick up the Drow straight afterwards. So definitely a good egg hitter. Managed to keep a decent distance away from the egg, and with pretty high attack speed as well on her, so she should have a decent time in the early portions of the game taking that egg down, but she is up against a carry lifestealer. So it's always a bit worrying for a Drow, especially if the Lifestealer manages to get on top of her pretty easily, and there's not much that Drow can really do in that situation. So we'll probably see a relatively early Hurricane Pike coming out for the Drow. Just some sort of way to put a bit of distance between her and the Lifestealer. MudGolems banning out the Mars as well. Definitely always a strong combo pick in line with the Phoenix, and especially seems how Na'Vi, they love taking that hero as well. 6th time, they've grabbed it 6 times as well, so 5-1. Pretty strong pick for the side of Na'Vi, so it's a good ban for MudGolems. Na'Vi banning out the Beastmaster and Slardar as well, so just heavily focusing now on the offlaner for the side of MudGolems. Don't want to give 33 any sort of big beefy hero, especially with the BKB piercing abilities. Slardar manages to lane quite well up against the Lifestealer in the early portions of the game, as well as the Beastmaster having that roar that can obviously stun straight through any sort of magic community. MudGolems, they ban out the Bloodseeker as well. Just a good hero that can run at the Drow Ranger and force her to try and stand her ground, which is obviously always a bit awkward for a Drow to go up against. She always wants to make sure she's got a nice distance between her and the rest of the enemy team. So remove that from the pool. I'm surprised that Na'Vi didn't go for a Snapfire ban. MudGolems have picked it up a few times so far this tournament, and they do pretty good on it. And it is always a nice way to take down the egg in the early portions of the game, just with that little shredder easily taking out the egg. So see if maybe that's a pick that MudGolems are thinking about maybe picking up. So see if MudGolems are going to use their last ban to take away more of 33's hero pool, or if maybe they want to direct it towards someone else. Maybe towards Borrow in the mid lane. Even still, they've already taken away Doom and Lena. They're 2 heroes that Borrow can also play. Maybe see something like a Storm Spirit ban as well coming out. A Storm Spirit, as long as if he plays it relatively careful, He can just jump straight into the back lines on top of that drow as well. Just make sure he's not hit by the Gust of Silence. Oh yeah, they'll actually just ban him out. There is still the likes of the Void Spirit though. Still a very good hero for jumping into the back lines. That being said, so is the Ember. So there's a few Spirit choices for the side of Na'Vi if they choose to go down that route. I could see maybe something like a Centaur pickup for the side of MudGolems. Just a way for the Drow Ranger to be able to make a little bit of space, you know, pop the Stampede and she can just leg it. Get a nice distance away from the Lifestealer or whoever else is trying to initiate on top of her. They'll grab the Mirana. Set position 4 for Milan. He likes to rotate around a bit, see if you get any early pickoffs. Quite difficult to try and catch the Lifestealer off with an arrow. Na'Vi going for the Tusk pickup. So this will probably be in the hands of Roger for the position 4. So the Phoenix will most likely fall to always want to fly in the position 5 position. He does tend to play it. So we'll see what offlane and RV are going to choose to pick to actually pair up with the Tusk. Someone who can benefit from the early levels in tag team and try and pump out a lot of damage. So maybe something like a Nature's Prophet. Never mind, MudGolems are going to steal that away. So that Nature's Prophet most likely going to be in the hands of 33, I imagine, for the offlane. Could see it put onto Bora for the mid hero. Yeah, so I think it could work in the mid lane. Would definitely struggle a little bit more up against the Batrider though. With the sticky napalms and the Firefly, it used to be able to take out a lot of Nature's Prophet's treants. So it might not be the easiest time in the mid for him. Even still, it does have that flexibility to go either way, but most likely going to be in hands of Bora for the mid. So MudGolems, they're still sort of lacking any sort of frontliner. Na'Vi actually ban out the Legion Commander, realising that is the sort of hero they need. But I still think Centaur is a good pickup for the side of MudGolems. It gives them a guaranteed stun, which is what they're lacking. Gives them a tank, which is what they're lacking. And it gives them the mobility from his ultimate to let Drow actually get away and make a little bit of space. Or also pop the Stampede if anyone ever gets caught by the Flaming Lasso from Batrider. And the rest of the team can quickly re-engage and provide whoever gets caught a little bit of assistance before they go down. So I definitely feel like Centaur would be a good pickup. So we might see Na'Vi ban that out. I'd actually get rid of the Tidehunter instead. Tidehunter would have been a good hero pickup as well. But even still, I think the Centaur is still a priority pickup here. For the side of Na'Vi though, still after that off-laner. It looks like MudGolems are banning out for the mid lane, so maybe thinking that the Batrider is going to be top in the off-lane rather than in the mid. I think it's a 33 hero left to pick up, in which case Either something like a Void Spirit to be able to get into the back lines, or even perhaps even a Visage. Could be quite a good grab, especially paired up with a Tusk. Slow people down so they can't escape from the tag team very easily. Plus be able to pump out a lot of damage with it as well. So yeah, I think Visage would be a pretty good pickup for the side of Na'Vi at the moment. And I'd definitely go for Centaur for MudGolems. Okay, Na'Vi actually go for Tiny. So I think it is then going to be a Bat Rider in the offlane in the hands of General. And then Iceberg will be taking the Tiny in the mid lane. Roger will probably have the Tusk. Always want to fly up the Phoenix, then V-Tune on the Lifestealer. But yeah, I'm still leaning towards Centaur for MudGolems. They'll actually get the Abaddon. So the Abba, always a good way to purge off the sticky napalm stacks going to be coming out from General. So maybe we'll try and see if MudGolems will swap the lanes around and try and make sure that 33 is up against General in the off lane. Just to make that a pretty good matchup for them. But looking at these lineups, I don't know. I think if Na'Vi can get on top of Skeeter, then I think the fight should go quite well into Na'Vi's favour. Especially seeing as how Iceberg's going to be getting a relatively early Blink Dagger as well. Even General have his own Blink eventually. Probably even Roger at some point. Maybe not go for it as his first item, but I imagine eventually he'll be building up a Blink. So it's definitely not going to be the easiest game for Skeeter. There's a few good ways for the side of Na'Vi to get on top of him. But if he can stay back far enough and keep himself defended, then I think MudGolems might eventually take it. Oh, MudGolems are missing half their team. Oh, and they appear. Sorry, there's some loud banging going on outside. Okay. So it looks like the entirety of Na'Vi is going up top. Maybe we're going to try and set up a First Blood. Meanwhile, it looks like this side of MudGolems heading up towards their own triangle as well, and they've even popped a smoke, so it looks like they might try and get aggressive as well into the other side of Na'Vi. But it looks like that's... Oh no, it looks like Milan might just walk straight up hill into him. He's going to have to be a little bit careful. His smoke will pop, and he'll realise this and immediately back out, so luckily enough for them, they will dodge that gank. It's both teams to sort of posture at each other then. Na'Vi don't get anything out of the movement, but they do sort of force MudGolems to go back and not get too aggressive. $33 doesn't look like he wants to try and contest for the bounty rune. No, he's just going to let Roger have it. So it'll just be a 2-for-2 bounty split in the end. Always want to fly, not wanting to go for a cheeky dive. But they have sort of positioned their lanes so that, well, mind you, General's already rotated around, so they've swapped their lanes to a decent position. 33 is actually just going to be up against V-Tune and Roger, so definitely not the easiest lane for him. He'll probably get punished quite hard down here. So Na'Vi, good movements around the map. They've managed to get all the favourable matchups. We'll probably see a very early stick come out for Skeeter and Farter at some point. We've got playing lane up against a Bat Rider. Well, Milani's come back down bottom. Trying to get a little bit of assistance here to 33. Even 33 started off with a stick, just hoping that he'd be going up against that Bat Rider, but unfortunately enough for him, he was wrong. This mid lane matchup should be fairly even for the early portions. Looks like Boro though is doing a really good job with his last hit him. 4-4 at moment to the 4-1 of Iceberg. So if he keeps this pace going, he will just eventually start out leveling Iceberg quite nicely. All the lanes are going to be relatively defensible for a while. Even the open wounds that V-Tune, when he eventually gets them, 33 will be able to just purge that off and walk away. Even if Milan gets caught out by it, he'll just have his leaps to just, again, run away. Even always want to fly, unless they get caught by a cheeky arrow. They should be relatively safe down bottom. I mean, the highest kill threat chance across the map will be in the top lane, I imagine. But as Skeeter is up against the Bat Rider, he's really struggling with last hits. 13-3 on General to the 8-0 of Skeeter. Oh, mind you, I say that down bottom. And Milan and 33 actually get the first blood onto V-Tune. How does that happen? Well, sorry about that, boys. I did not think that V-Tune would be the one to die. Of all the lanes, he must have, his rage must have just ran out, perhaps, and then he got hit by an arrow. That is literally the only way you die in that lane. Yep. General and Roger making moves onto Skeeter. They actually just changed target onto Farter. He's still ripped up to a healthy amount of HP, but they're doing a lot of damage, slowing him down with all these sticky napalm stacks, and he will fall. Meanwhile, Skeeter, he should actually get a return kill onto General, but he actually runs out of vision. He can't quite get it. They're actually just going to turn around. There's still a lot of napalm stacks on Skeeter. One more hit coming out from General will finish him off. And it's actually a double kill going towards General. He will actually die to the tower, but he doesn't mind for that. No one gets any XP for that death, and he'll get to just come back to the lane, full HP, full mana. So really nice movement there for the side of Na'Vi. But that is both position ones in both the lanes falling. So it's a slight equal standing in that respect across the two teams at the moment. Just pause coming out from Roger. It's PC. What about your PC? Is it blown up? I don't know. They're losing packets. What a shame. So V-Tune said go. then Bora was like, go. And then Roger's like, no. Well, hopefully Roger's PC fixes itself. Chuck a few nanobots in there. I'm sure they'll sort it out. Gonna give it a little test to see if that's fixed it. Yeah, he's not pausing again, so I think it has. Even still, the creep score in the mid lane still super even. 22-9 to 22-6. Iceberg, quarter of the way through 5th level. So I think after this creep wave, Iceberg will have equal XP to that of not Iceberg, sorry, Boras. It's like Roger's trying to apply a little pressure to steal away the bounty rune. Can't quite get it. Bora did rotate around to see if he could try and make a move onto him, but not quite close enough. Even Milan manages to get both the bounties down bottom. Always want to fly. He's used his dive already, so he's in a really rough situation here. Looks like Milan might be able to just right-click him down. He doesn't have any mana. There's finally Starfall available, but he chose not to pop it. Didn't want to just miss his chance and fall behind the vision. Milan knows he's around here somewhere. We'll actually spot Skeeter's courier. Not Skeeter, Vishun, sorry. Oh, and then the Nature's Wrath comes in. It just blows up. Always want to fly. He was just too low HP. Unfortunate of him. Meanwhile, General and Roger, they're making a move on to Skeeter up top. Tag teams in with all the napalm saps, and there's nothing that Skeeter could do to survive that. Like, the support from far, there's nothing you can do in that situation. Maybe if these lineups were that bad, then maybe they should have tried moving 33 up top to actually swap to the support role and help out Skeeter, or just make the long walk of shame and run across the map. Because I mean it's too late now, obviously, but it's having some really dire repercussions in this game already. As you see, Vishun, he's pretty much got free farm down bottom. There's nothing that a solo Abaddon can actually do to contest that. Skeeter's actually just got in the mid lane now. It's the only place he can get any farm. Boris moves to the jungle, and it's this far left all alone up top. And then Roger and General are just going to move on him straight away. Caught on the ice shards again, tag team, Firefly, all the napalm stacks coming in. He makes some work for it, but he'll still eventually fall down. Another kill going towards General. Now 4-1. Having a very nice game so far. Even Roger now rotating around to the mid lane. Wants to just keep putting more pressure onto Skeeter, make his game even worse. We will start diving forwards. Roger's found him in the back lines. He's making this move, but there's already TP coming in from far. The toss in from Iceberg, but it's only a level 1 toss. It does hardly any damage. And it looks like the rest of MudGolems are trying to get something out of this. Bora's trying to get an advantage. TP going in. He does actually catch Roger off, but Iceberg comes in for a little bit of assistance. Nice snowball there. Gets him to the mid lane. Out into safety. Even the Nature's Wrath doesn't have enough damage to finish him off. So it's a lot of rotations coming out from the side of MudGolems, and nice little play there from Roger. Keeps them both alive, and they're able to escape. You are down bottom. Looked like Vichun was trying to pressure into 33, but he was holding the skill point anyway. Ready to take his borrow time if he ever needed it. Damn, Skeeter's game is so rough. He's got 17 last hits at 8.5 minutes in. Ouch. That is so rough. Yeah, he's even queued up on Midas now. He needs something to try and recover this game for him. If this just keeps going the way it's going, there is no chance of Skeeter being able to do anything. So, the Midas, well, I wouldn't say it's a solution, but it's helping out. Here comes Iceberg and Roger. They're just going to keep on pressuring. Absolutely nothing Skeeter can do to survive this. He's just going to fall. And the game just gets worse. Haste still activated. I suppose it's going to run straight up to Milan. He's already used both his dives to get away from General. Bora was thinking about trying to rotate around here, but he cancels that. Oh, he's come back in. Iceberg was quite low, but there's still General sat there. He's got the lasso as well. Bora just end up throwing his own life away if he tried committing to that. So really nice movement so far from the side of Na'Vi. So as soon as they find anyone, they just keep applying so much pressure. 33 is now actually rotated up to the top lane to try and lane up against General, but I mean, it's already pretty much the end of the laning phase anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Iceberg actually even picking off 33's courier, so his blade mail is even more delayed. Looks like Roger gets found out, trying to make some sort of sneaky play to the backlines, but he's the same. Oh no, the arrow actually misses! Oh, they just have enough damage. Just in time to bring him down for his TP. That whiffed arrow could have been disastrous, but they got a little bit lucky there. Meanwhile, down bottom, V-Tune just charging onto Fata. Looks like he should just die here. Even General now with the finish bots. Just slowing down Fata to make the kill a little bit easier for V-Tune. Meanwhile, Milan, he gets both the bounties down bottom. It looks like he's going to pay with this with his life though. Trying to leap back up to the high ground, but there isn't any escape from this. Oh, the sick charges. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's turning on to always want to fly. Even the neutral creep gets the deny on him. Ooh, there's a little slap in the face there for Na'Vi, getting a little bit over cocky. Just thinking that, you know, always want to fly, he's going to be able to finish this, but nice little plays there by Milan. Yeah, it's the small victories, you know, it's the small victories that count. Anything to make MudGolems feel a little bit better in this game. Oh, but here comes Iceberg and Roger. They found Skeeter. Avalanche, snowball, punch! Dead. And it's so much vision. Just dedicated towards just keeping track of where Skeeter's been playing. Finally, Fata will come in with a sentry ward to try and deny his way. But Iceberg and Roger, they just turn around, get the toss straight back on top of Fata. They're not pushing forward, thinking that there's going to be some sort of assistance coming out from the rest of MudGolems. And they will fall back. But, I mean, hey, it's space. It's forcing the rest of MudGolems to react to this. And it's just more room for V-Tune to keep his farm going. Got his armlet online now, working his way towards Manta is his next item.
Catch us if you can.
It's still so rough for MudGolems though. Skeeter, 6th on the net worth chart at the moment. Barely above that of Milan, and Milan's just been running around getting bounty runes and just trying to make some space. Oh, it looks like they will find Roger again. Getting a little bit ahead of himself there. Maybe just trying to get a bit of deep vision, but it will get scouted out. So, Blink Dagger, now online for Iceberg. Immediate smoke up again with him and Roger. Looks like they will go for 33 as their main target. He does have borrowed time online though, so it's going to take a long time for them to actually bring him down. Maybe a little bit of a poor target choice there. I would have thought they would have just kept their smoke going and tried hunting for Skeeter in the jungle. Lucky there are these wards, they'll see this happening. They'll just try and gain a little bit of control in the Radiant jungle. Still one more ward here keeping track of their movements, but I don't think they'll realise that's there. Orchid now available for Bora. We'll see if he's able to find anyone with it. Even going to be able to get a double damage in the mid lane. Let's see if they try catching anyone off guard with this. Or if they maybe want to just apply a bit of pressure for the mid tier one perhaps. Well, Skeeter's got his hand on Midas finish at least. So, I mean, MudGolems have got that. But he's still only level 8. Oh, Bora. He tried to wrap around behind General, but General just knows it's happening. Nice arrow attempt coming up from Milan, but General just sees it in time. I think if it was night time, he probably wouldn't have seen that in time to be able to react. But fortunately enough, he is. And he's actually just going straight for that bounty rune. Wants to try and force Milan off it. Jump forward from Iceberg, but the avalanche doesn't actually connect. So it will be 3 bounties going towards Na'Vi this time. Even Vichun blocking up 33 to stop him from running away. Toss him back into the rest of his team. Borrowed Time will activate. Fart's rotated around it to try and lend a little bit of a helping hand. Even the egg now committed up onto the high ground. Arrow connects onto Roger, lock him down in place. Bora's able to just lay into him from the high ground. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade, but the Abaddon is actually a core, so it slightly favours that of Na'Vi. Well, Iceberg jumps straight and tries to combo down Milan, but he just about survives. Sunray, it is connecting. One final jump away, it does make him survive. Meanwhile, Iceberg's trying to run in there, he is infested up. Trying to make a move on to the rest of them. Bora gets caught by the Flame Lasso and dragged into the rest of the team. It's taking a little while to kill though. It looks like he will eventually drop. He tried going for a TP out, but a little bit ambitious there. So it's another quick little pick off from Na'Vi. Just keeping the pressure going. I think that's actually the first time Flame Lasso has been used this game. But that was the Blink Dagger reveal for the Bat Rider. So bots and Blink at 16 minutes. He's had a super free game. Oh, meanwhile, he manages to find Milan. General's having a super game so far. Second in net worth. Nearly, even Vichun has nearly double the net worth of Skeeter. Skeeter doesn't even have finished boots, or does he? Oh, he's got finished boots, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Sort of, but it's a very, very, very dim light. This game is just, as time goes on, it's not exactly like it's going to get easier for the side of MudGolems. Yeah, it's definitely not going to get easier. In fact, I think it's just going to get harder. Just basically the entirety of Na'Vi scales so well towards the later portion of this game. Meanwhile, Vichun already got the ultimate orb online. Only a couple hundred gold away from finishing up the Yasha as well. There's a lot of presence from the side of Na'Vi into MudGolems jungle. Really trying to limit all the space. It looks like General, he gets found out by Bora. He's got already had his Firefly activated though, so there's enough space for him to get away. Meanwhile, Arrow comes out from Milan, tries to connect onto General as he goes for the rune, but just slightly off its mark. Oh, looks like General, he's going to find Skeeter, jumps straight on top with the Flaming Lasso. There's no one around for miles to give him help, but there is a teleport coming from Bora. He decides to cancel it though. There's no reveal on General. The Moonlight Shadow is actually enough to keep him alive. Oh, he's running back into he realised he got blocked, so he must have known he was there. Bora's already teleported in. But against General, with these boots of speed, he's just way too quick. They just can't catch him. I mean, sure, General doesn't get the kill onto Skeeter, but it's delaying his farm and it forces a lot of rotations. Meanwhile, the rest of Na'Vi's just pushing towards the mid lane. Even Bora TP's in now. Showing a few of the faces. Iceberg, Blink Dagger, tosses Bora back into V-Tune. Keeping him locked down in place. Arrow comes out, will connect, but too late. Bora's already dead. The egg comes out. 33's trying to lay into it. Milan gives it an assist, and it will actually drop the egg. Meanwhile, the rest of MudGolems has already rotated around. The Rage just run out for V-Tune. He's just falling. Nice and fest there into one of the zombies, actually. Iceberg's going to drop. V-Tune just, he gets to run away at least, but even still, that's a nice rotations there from MudGolems. They end up getting a 2-for-1 trade. Mid laner for mid laner plus support, so and the fact that MudGolems were behind it definitely gives them the little boost they needed. Especially for Skeeter. Any little thing he can get, he'll gobble up straight away. But, I mean, it's not like the biggest win in the world, so this game isn't just going to now swing back towards their favour at all. V-Tune, the fact that he's able to escape, he's just going to farm himself straight back up again. He's still not exactly double the net worth of Skeeter, but I mean, it's pretty damn close. 5k ahead at 20 minutes in between the position ones. It's a position you never want to be in. Never, never, never. In your pubs, people will be saying GG, run down mid. But these are professionals. They're keeping cool, calm and collected. They don't want to let their emotions get ahead of them.
A gift from the night.
Apologise for the loud banging sound. Sounds like someone on a motorbike. Meanwhile, ooh, it looks like General actually managed to get the grab. Oh my god, what's happening with my camera? General managed to get the grab forward. They could actually find him off it, but it looks like Rogers getting himself out of position. He will fall, but Skeeter takes too much damage from the Firefly and the sticky napalm stack, so he will fall. Meanwhile, the rest of MudGolems, they're able to focus down the egg, and they will manage to get that. Meanwhile, it looks like Vici went in the back all on his own. He's just going to rage TP out. And there's no stuns from the side of MudGolems that can actually stop him there, so he will escape. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade in favour of MudGolems, but I don't think MudGolems really cares. It's screwing over Skeeter's game even more. Like, this poor man, he's struggling so hard. I think the small win there was the fact that he died and his Hand of Midas wasn't off cooldown. If that was off cooldown, it'd be real sad. Skeeter just working towards his AC as his second item. Already got 3k towards that. So he's going to have it online pretty damn quickly. Or is he actually... No, he's swapped out. He's actually just going to go for the Basher instead. Fair enough. Definitely an item that is just going to help him shred into Skeeter when he eventually finds him. But you see Vici and Iceberg, they're coupled up, fested in. I think MudGolems, they realise he's here though. I'm not sure how they know he's there, but they know he's there. Invis is going to run out soon, so unfortunately he isn't going to be able to find anyone. Looks like he's going to start heading towards the bottom lane on Farta. Especially if Farta shows himself here. He will, yeah. I don't think there's much Farta can do to survive this. Even a blink coming, TP coming in from General. He's going to put down the tombstone to try and bait them away. And he looks like he might actually be able to get away with it. But, I mean, it's not exactly the biggest victory in the world. You drop down a tombstone, which is worth 200 gold, and you gave it to V-Tune. So they don't mind too much. Meanwhile, MudGolems actually looks like they're going to try and take down Roshan here. With the attack speed buff from the Curse of Avernus, it's going to give Skeeter a nice little buff to do a lot of damage to Roche. Even still, they don't feel like they want to commit it too much. The rest of Na'Vi have actually rotated around. There's even a Sentry Ward there, so I'll see it happening. And Bora actually just bails. You just go straight down the bottom. Just going to try and deep push that lane in a little bit. Vichun, he has no fear at all. He's just running in there. He's going to initiate onto 33, but the Abaddon's never the easiest target to bring down in the world. So they won't be able to get anything, but I mean, this is sort of just striking fear into the hearts of MudGolems. Just the fact that the entirety of Na'Vi can run at them like this, and it feels like there's nothing they can do to respond. And Bora just has to split up and try and make space somewhere else on the map. Looks like the side of Na'Vi like to group up their sentries a little bit. It's a buddy system with wards. Double the sentry means you reveal super hidden people. Counters dust. Not dust, smoke, sorry. But Na'Vi just going to go straight into the pit now. MudGolems, they do scan it out, so they're going to start rotating around here. Bora's going to send in the small tree army to try and scout this out. The Na'Vi are actually just going to fall back. We're going to see what position Roshan is. Down to about quarter HP. Vichun, he's infested into Iceberg at the moment. Blink. Very strange blink forward there. Just blinked into 33 but doesn't actually do anything. Just sort of stares at him. Meanwhile, General, he actually gets the grab onto Milan. General, you're dragging him too far. You just dragged him away from the rest of the stuns on your team, mate. What's that all about? Meanwhile, Roger, he just rolls in, he finds Skeeter in the back lines, trying to focus him down, but he's just going to melt himself. Well, the rest of Na'Vi, all in the back, trying to push forward, and Sprout was holding back Vichun. This 33 is the only one in hitting distance, but again, Aban is not the target you want to be going for. So, a little bit of miscommunication there from the side of Na'Vi. They've ended up using quite a few of their core ultimates, so this might actually be an alright time for side of MudGolems just to move into the Roshan pit here. We get Iceberg jumps in, hits a lot of them, the avalanche there, even Vichun in the background, hit onto Bora. Bora's just going to try TP out, but he gets hit by the bash. He's stuck in place. Vichun's trying to lay into him the best he can. They're all invis though, they still have no rev on the side of Na'Vi. But it doesn't really matter. Iceberg goes down, Bora falls as well. Looks like the rest of MudGolems are just in full retreat at the moment. Vichun always want to fire, trying to take down 33. They're keeping a lot of pressure onto him. Vichun changes target onto fire, even gets the bash to cancel out the TP. Meanwhile, in the top lane, General actually finds Milan, and he's going to end up falling. So it ends up being a 3-for-1 trade, favouring that of Na'Vi. Started out a little bit bumpy there, but they managed to bring it back. And now this just leaves Roshan completely open for them to take. So that lead that Na'Vi had just keeps growing even more. Vichun still 6k over the top of Skeeter. This is really looking rough. Really, really rough. I mean, all Skeeter has is a Hurricane Pike. And a Hand of Midas. I mean... yeah. That's all you can really say. It's not what you want by 27 minutes in. These are all just items to just keep you alive and help you farm a little bit. You're not actually really doing much damage in any of these fights. Especially if Na'Vi manages to jump onto your backlines every single time. Even a BKB now finished up for General. Looks like maybe Iceberg's building towards an E-Blade as well. He's picked up a Ghost Stick. Whether if he's just using that defensively or not. Jumps forward, actually tosses 33 back into the rest of them. Punch up by Roger as well. They're trying to hold him in place, but he's able just to walk away. Meanwhile, the arrow actually goes all the way back and connects onto Always Want to Fly. No one there to actually follow up. Meanwhile, General, he's infested in, but they can't quite find anyone, and the Firefly was going to run out anyway. He's pretty close now to finishing up his Assault Cuirass. Only about 300 gold. Let's see if they're able to take this tier 2. In which case, if they do, you definitely have enough gold then. But it looks like the rest of MudGolems, they've smoked up. They're hanging around their tier 2 mid. Maybe thinking about trying to move up here. But Skeeter shows himself. General waiting in the backs. Just a scouting arrow from Milan. Doesn't actually connect onto anyone. And the rest of Na'Vi are just going to TP out. But Vichun straight on top of Bora. Finds him immediately. Finally, the dust comes out. Bora's going to force use his BKB and run away from this. But, yeah. And with that purged off, there's nothing else to actually find Bora, and he's able to just TP away. Ooh, he scouts him at the very last second, but the TP just finishes. Super close. Right, it feels like just the entirety of the MudGolems are just constantly hanging around Skeeter, just desperately trying to protect him. If he just keeps falling like this, his farm's never going to be able to progress, and they're just not going to have a chance in this game. So let's just keep him alive at all costs. Iceberg, he's just walking into the middle of everyone. Meanwhile, General gets a jump onto Skeeter with V-Tune inside him, and he's just gone. Nothing he can do to survive that. Borre's trying to escape from this. Toss comes up from Iceberg, locks him down in place. 33's even trying to go for a TB out, but Yulceptor's there to even cancel that out from Iceberg. 33's going to try and run away. But, I mean, it's going to take a long time for him to die, but he will die nonetheless. He's trying to juke and jive here. Trying to do some fancy footwork, but like I said, he's still going to die. Meanwhile, in the mid, Milan and Fata, they're making a move onto Roger. Uh-oh. He just trapped himself in with his own ice shards. The rest of Na'Vi, they're getting close. The Sunray comes out, but it's not enough to actually heal him up. Iceberg tries to do the avalanche toss come onto him, but not quite enough to bring him down. Meanwhile, Iceberg catches Fata with the Yulceptor, just trying to TP out. And he should just end up falling here. So, good few pickups across the map for the side of Na'Vi. But they couldn't actually get an objective out of this by the time Skeeter's up. Looks like V2, you will be able to finish up this tier 2 without anyone from MudGolems trying to contest him. So Na'Vi even be able to take the tier 2 mid with no contestation at all. Do they still have the Aegis? They still have the Aegis. I think it's up for like another minute or so. And they're just going to keep going now. Just going to press straight up on the high ground. They don't want to give Iceberg any time. Meanwhile, General jumps into the back, but there comes the purge out from 33 to keep Bora alive. They're managing to do a lot of damage into Iceberg. Vichun though, he's focusing down the tier 3. That's all he really cares about. He manages to feast into a zombie. He's just flying away now. Aegis does actually get reclaimed, so maybe it would have been better for him to fall in that position. Who knows? Bora gets the grab onto Always Want to Fly with the BKB activated, and he will fall. But if the rest of Na'Vi can escape from this, they'll find that right. Roger looks like he will get caught. Not sure what that ice charge he will do. But the rest of Na'Vi just turn around. Vichun jumps straight on top of Skeeter, and he blows up. Far gets super low, but there's another Glimmer Cape to keep him alive. Vichun's just going to swap targets onto Bora. He's trying to just out-damage it and try to take Roger with him, but it's just not enough. And it's just clean up now for the side of Na'Vi. There's nothing MudGolems can do to survive in this situation. 33 pops his Bora time to try and survive here. Instant bash from Vichun, locks him down in place. He's going to end up falling. Milan trying to go for the TP out. There's no cancel. Okay. Milan actually manages to escape. But it ends up being a 4-for-2 trade, favouring Na'Vi, and it's every single core for Na'Vi that survives. So Vichun going to go back to pushing the mid lane. Even Iceberg now pushing in bottom. Skeeter is up in 5 seconds, but I mean, what can this Drow Ranger do? What can he do? Absolutely nothing. And then Vichun just back out. Gets the melee racks, even get the tier 2 down bottom. Yeah, this game, it just gets harder for the side of MudGolems. It really does just get harder.
This is gonna sting.
AC, Basher, Manta, Armlet. I think he even has a Deso as well. Yeah, Desolator now in the hands of Vichun. Anyone who he gets on top of is just going to be shredded in second, doing 300 damage a hit with the minus armor that comes in from the Deso and the Assault Cuirass. I wouldn't be surprised if he bloody well found an Orb of Destruction as well. You know what? I think Iceberg actually building a Dagon. Choosing just to go for the pure magical burst with the E-Blade as well. I think the only people that'd be able to survive it would probably be 33 and Bora. Maybe Fata as well. So if ever Milan and Skeeter gets caught out, Iceberg will probably be able to just bring them down himself. Okay, it is actually that point in the game where V-Tune is actually double the net worth of... oh no, never mind. He's 2,000 gold off being double. He's pretty close to double though. I'd call it double. I'll just round up. It looks like General. He's actually baiting out this bounty rune. Jump forward, gets the pick onto Milan, even just takes the bounty rune right in front of his face just to insult him. Your Scepter comes out, so it looks like Milani's trying to survive. Gets a triple leap away. Ice Shard connects. He's going for the TP out. So he will survive. He's trying to taunt him as well, but I mean, it's not exactly like he won there, Milan. Ooh, nice placement for V-Tune. Actually gets the open wounds from the high ground, but the shield comes out from 33, purges it away. Lets him just walk it off. Ooh, super quick respawn by Roshan as well. We'll see if always want to fly scouts it out, because Na'Vi could just roll straight in it and take this away. V-Tune jumps straight onto fire with the Abyssal Blade and he's just gone. He can't do anything. Fata does have a buyback, so maybe Na'Vi will look to try and force that out. Even still, it's only a position 5 Undying, so it's not exactly the biggest thing in the world. V-Tune will force out the glyph though. So the next assault from Na'Vi is going to be that little bit easier. Looks like they will just start moving towards the Roshan area as well. Interesting curry placement. Maybe just to see if you can spy out Bora at any point, trying to be sneaky. But this is going to be free Aegis and Cheese going to the hands of Na'Vi now. And they're just going straight for the top lane. Tier 3 is pretty much already dead. Creep Wave going to be pushing him. Perfect time in general. He's already popped his Firefly. There is a ward here to see see him when he pops out these trees. Never mind. They've already got the revs to take that away. The Firefly has already run out, so a little bit prematurely dropped there by General. But even still, V-Tune's able just to siege on his own, takes away the tier 3 with the heals coming out from the Sunray. Mesquite was trying to lay a bit of damage to try and push him back, but V-Tune doesn't really care. Just ploughing into the Meteoracts, brings it down to half HP. He's just going to infest up into Iceberg, jump straight back in, finds fire. V-Tune will pop out and just blow him up. Probably be forced to buy back any second, otherwise looks like General jumps forward, gets the grab onto Bora. Pops the BKB, but it's not enough. He's just only going to drop, doesn't have a buyback available. 33 gets caught in the back as well, stunned in place by the egg. No chance of him being able to run. Borrow time now runs out, but V-Tune just jumps straight forward onto Fire, who's already done a buyback, so he's just gone again. Dieback from him. 33 surely going to fall as well. Iceberg, he's actually in range of the shrine. Oh, he manages to pop the cheese just in time though, so he actually managed to survive. But the entire squad of MudGolems is on him. We'll see if any support from the side of Na'Vi is here in time, and they will actually manage to give him a little bit of support. Milan's able to dive in and actually drags Roger all the way into the well with him. 33 still standing his ground, Borrow time's back up. Iceberg super low, still able just to survive, but meanwhile Na'Vi just blowing up Skeeter in the back lines. 33 is going to drop, and GG is called. Ending the game with a 34k lead. Super top showing there by Na'Vi. It just felt so bad the entire game there for MudGolems. Just General and Roger done an absolutely fantastic job at shutting down Skeeter for the entirety of that game. That he was just in full recovery mode, and Na'Vi just did not give him the space at all to recover. They just constantly applying aggression onto him. As soon as they had any sort of vision on him, everyone just started conversion onto his position, and yeah, he just fell every single time. Have a look to see what his final score actually was. He's 3 for 8. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. But well played to Na'Vi, taking the first game of the upper bracket finals in the ESL One Germany 2020 tournament. So we'll see if MudGolems can actually bring it back and take the next 2 games to just guarantee themselves in the grand finals. So we'll see if they have it in them. And yeah, that game will be up in about 10 minutes time. So hopefully I'll see you guys there.